Hi, and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is their second He-Man series that came out together around about 5 months ago, probably 7 months ago. We had the Kevin Smith first part of 5 episodes, and then we had the next lot a few months later, and there was a whole big controversy. I didn't mind that series; I enjoyed it, but this one was more aimed at, I guess, families, how it should always have been aimed at families, and so I think it was received better. But I also preferred this one to the other one because I felt like I was on those the Saturday morning cartoons when you're growing up and you get up as a kid and you race to the TV and you watch DuckTales and Care Bears and Gummy Bears, all of those sorts of cartoons, or the X-Men. When growing up, it felt like an homage to that, but also trying to bring a new, I guess, the new generation in, so it really was family orientated, and I felt like that's what it always meant to be. You had the young girls and boys enjoying He-Man, and then you had families watching it together to enjoy that, and that's why I kind of embraced this more. It just seemed more fun and less serious. Not that there wasn't a serious tone to it, but it just felt like it ticked more of those bars that I wanted. And so we had that for a season, and I thought, gosh, we're going to have to wait another year. Nevertheless, 5 months later, and we've got season 2, and here to talk about it. Let's jump in. Okay, so 8 episodes, about 25 minutes apiece, and this time around, we're still getting the He-Man, well, the Masters of the Universe, trying to stop Skeletor from taking the sigils, which will bring him the ultimate power, which he wants. There are 3 sigils, and so it's a journey, I guess, adventure, a race against time, and who can get them, and always there's going to be the fighting between Skeletor and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I have to say, off the bat, one of the issues I had in the first season was that we had these transformations that happened in every episode, and it gets a bit annoying and it gets a bit Power Ranger-ish, when these powers combine, or I am Captain Planet. It's one of those that happens in every single episode, but I'm glad that they're kind of aware of it. They even kind of make fun of it in one of the episodes, and I thought, okay, so they understand that it is kind of cheesy. You don't need to see the transformations all the time. At the same time, sometimes they combine it and you're like, oh, or when there's a new character that's come around, you're like, oh, what's that going to be? Or what's their new evolved power? It's always one of the things in this series. When somebody gets one power, later on in a couple of episodes, somebody else will get a different power that they never knew they had. That's kind of a tried and tested formula that you get in this. The thing I liked about this series is that even though we had that journey story, it was really kind of developing characters, their backgrounds. We have a certain gemstone that has a whole backstory, which is kind of like a big arc in the story, which I guess will be continuing in season 3. There's definitely more to come as well, so don't worry about that. But everybody seems to go in a little bit of self-discovery. At the end of season 1, we transport to the castle, and the castle ends up at I think it's called Stratos. We meet Stratos, the avian king, and he seems to be a new member. We also get Manny, the Many Faces. I thought that was an interesting storyline. So we get new characters, but like I said, all the characters seem to go on a bit of a character journey. The thing I wasn't expecting from this particular season was the comedy that seems to work. It's like the script writers have been allowed to really play with the dialogue and the characters. There is this moment where our battle cat, is flying a ship. He sees this red light and he kind of stops and then starts like being a cat and trying to attack the red light, and then goes back. It was like mid-sentence, he's saying something, drops the ship, tries to start, attacking this red light. And there's little moments dotted throughout the 8 episodes between dialogue moments and what the characters are doing, is that the script writers, the creators of the story, really had fun with what they were trying to do. So now that they've established a kind of a series that works with the Masters of the Universe, now they're playing with the characters, and I thought that was a lot of fun to see the characters really starting to come alive in their own. And that part of that reason is because of the comedy, not like belly laughing, but the fun that they're having with it. And I think that's probably like the tick in the right direction for the series. So there were a few storylines I was hoping that we'd get that they really didn't kind of touch on, that they left in season 1, that is being brought into season 3. And we get a tiny little bit of one particular character, Aldris, but we're only really going to find out what's going to happen with that in season 3. So I was a little bit annoyed because that was like part of the cliffhanger. I think King Randall has a bit of a better story, although we don't see much more of him. But there is this relationship, that estranged relationship with He-Man and his father, and that seems to start to come into play. Rami has a big storyline which I really enjoyed. Beastman and Trapjaw, I would like more to do with them. We haven't really explored them much more in this season, apart from them being forced into servitude with Skeletor. Skeletor's voice acting, once again, is fantastic. I like what they're doing with him as a character. He's being developed well, so we kind of need to steer now in a different direction. Although you always kind of have to have Skeletor in a He-Man series in some form. And I won't spoil how that comes to play in the end of season 2, but I think they've done a good job of where it's going to go. Also felt it was kind of an emotional beat towards the end of the series. Last couple of 2 episodes, I wasn't expecting them to go as serious as they did, to set you up and really want more episodes. I think that was a clever writing mechanic, so that it actually feels like there's weight and consequences to what's happening with the team. It's not just all kind of concluded. Drawing the story towards an end, it did feel like they could have just left it and they'd be like that. You know, there was no real need to continue the storyline. If they wanted, they could have just finished it, but those last 2 episodes bring to fruition a story that they've been kind of building on, and now we see where it's going to go and what that means for the team, the Masters of the Universe, and has some emotional consequences, which I thought was much needed. So we have some backstory, we have He-Man and the best friend, we have He-Man and the team, we have Stratos trying to figure his place out, and there's a funny moment where we see Stratos with a different-ish team kind of join the Masters, and that was an interesting storyline. So they really are playing with what's going on this season. But the score, once again, was great. It's really fun to listen. And I think that's just what's going to be said mostly about this series. Families are going to enjoy watching this together. You know, having a meal together, instead of sitting around the table. I know a lot of people like us, we sit around together watching something on the TV, not talking too much, but enjoying something in a zeitgeist way of, hey, I like this bit, I like this character, who's your favorite character? And talking about that, who is your favorite character from this series so far? Give me a best enemy and a best hero. I like the fact that they're not just kind of black and white, that they do kind of topsy-turvy. They're more complicated than just I'm good or bad. And I think that goes to the cleverness or the creativeness of the writing. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Nicolas Cages. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Could do more of this. Looking forward to the next season. Hopefully, it's only 5 months again until we watch the 3rd season. They're churning them out pretty quickly. Thanks so much for watching this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.